This is the Can We Talk podcast, episode 115, and I have a very special guest in the building. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I think it's really cool when like you can meet somebody via like a food page and connect off of that. We met on a food page.
We did. The Asian food page.
I don't know who put me onto that page at all. Like I have no idea, but somehow I made it on there. Oh, it was the that food truck.
Oh, Show You Sugar?
Yeah. No. There was a red food truck that was out in Georgetown that people were just like going crazy about. I don't know what it was called, but it was like hand pulled noodles and.
Oh, the noodle one that everyone was posting about for a long time.
Yeah.
I never went there though.
I went there and ironically waited 5 hours.
For food?
For food.
No. I would have been so hangry.
We literally stood in line for 5 hours.
No. I would have been like, I'm good. I'm going somewhere else. You could literally drive to Houston and get food.
Literally. I don't know what we were thinking. And it was cold too.
Yeah, you're crazy.
I did it for the love.
Was it worth the 5 hours?
It was. It actually was some really good food. But like the thing is, like they only had the owner and his wife, and the line was like 50 deep, and they made every meal to order.
No.
Like I'm like literally like kneading the dough together and then pulling apart the noodles on every single order.
I mean, it sounds really good, but I would not wait 5 hours for no food. I'm too hungry.
No, it was a fun experience because we actually what's really funny about it is like we waited in line for 5 hours, but we weren't the only ones in line for 5 hours. So we made friends.
So what'd you do for 5 hours while you waited for your food? Just sat there?
We just stood there and hung out. They had a bar next to it. So we got margaritas and we just kicked it.
My phone would be dead by the time I got my food.
No, we didn't have like our headphones and anything like that because like every couple hours or so he'd go like past the point in the line and be like, yeah, we don't even have any more past this point.
Oh.
Like he would go past us, so like there's enough for us. But like he'd come out and be like, you know, this far back, we probably don't have enough stuff for everybody because everyone was ordering like 7 or 8 dishes, and they're making them to order when you place your order.
I wonder if it's steadily like that busy.
I don't know. I think it got popping because of that page.
No, yeah, I saw it all over that page for a long time. But I was like, didn't realize it was a 5 hour wait busy.
No, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you tried it.
I tried it. It was good. And then one of the friends we made in the line ended up paying for our food.
Oh.
So.
That's nice.
$70 worth of food.
Oh.
We ordered like 7 things.
Really nice. But 5 hours is crazy.
Nuts. I wouldn't do it again, but it was for the experience. It's for the culture.
Yeah. I'm glad you got to try it.
I don't even think I've ever told that story on the podcast either, which is nuts. Because that is nuts. Waiting 5 hours for some food is nuts.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever waited that long for food.
But like waiting to place your order for 5 hours.
That is crazy. I think I would be so upset.
I couldn't be mad. Like I was just like, because there were so many people there. A lot of people did, you know, decide to leave and stuff like that. But it was good. Food was good.
I think like at that point I would have been like, no, it's okay. I would go home and take a nap and I'll be back.
Come back. No, I think they actually ended up running out of food about time we like got our stuff. Like I think we were like one of the last people to like get food. I think you had to go borrow flour from like a different food truck.
That's crazy. That is insane.
Yeah, shout out to that food truck though.
For real.
It was good.
You don't even know the name, but shout out.
I don't. It was something noodle.
It was.
Noodle.
It's
like stretch noodle or something.
Yes,
like that. Yeah.
I think I remember you posting about it.
Yeah.
Or somebody posted.
Everyone was posting about it, so I had to pull up.
That's crazy. That's insane.
So, Carol is your name?
Yes.
Carol.
That's me.
Hawaii. Let's jump into Hawaii, right?
Yes.
You were born and raised there. Mm-hmm. I was born and not raised there. Mm-hmm. What is some of the biggest differences between Hawaii and Texas?
I would say like one of the main differences is like culture. Like back in Hawaii, like everyone is like very big on culture and like we have a sense of community. And I feel like I'm not saying that Texas does not have a sense of community.
We don't.
I'm just saying that like we all get along and we all are very kind.
So the opposite of Texas.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
And everyone's like there for each other, even though like not everybody likes each other, but like we're there for each other.
Are there many like high schools
Yeah.
in Hawaii? Like per island? Is there like, I can't imagine islands are that big, right?
I mean, Oahu has like a bunch of high schools. It's like the biggest, like it's the most popular island because a lot of like people like that are in the army like go and live there. They have a lot of public schools. I have a lot of high schools on my island too. So
The only reason I was born there is because my parents were in the military. So I was born in Honolulu, spent the first 5 years of my life there. Then we moved to Texas. What are some, like, I don't want to say things you miss, but like things that you can't get here that you could easily get there?
that I can't get here. I would say some good poke. Like I can get poke here, but it's not the same.
Not the same.
What else? Like just good local food. Like yeah, there's that ATX Showy Sugar food truck, but that's like, it's like
Far.
yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, and just like, of course, the beach, and like just like the community, of course. Like it's like everybody knows everybody in Hawaii. Like somehow or in some way you're connected to that person, whether that's like your dad's aunties, uncle, somebody like it's your cousin all the way down the line.
That could be tricky.
No, literally, that's why everyone's like, before anyone starts dating, you're like, are you my cousin? Or like, can we talk? Like, what's your last name? Who's your dad? And we go talk to our dad. I'm like, okay, wait, do you know this person?
That's like so my family's from Mississippi and that's the exact same shit.
Yeah.
Like literally, but it's like the opposite. It's not like, it's like the smallest of towns, like where literally there's one grocery store. There's nothing but dirt roads, maybe one paved roads. You know how like addresses for houses have like multiple numbers in it?
Yes.
In Mississippi, it's like 1 or 4, like 4 West Avenue, whatever,
Yeah.
versus like 1500 or whatever.
Yeah.
So really small town, like literally you have to figure out if y'all are cousins somehow.
Yeah. And like, that's crazy because even over here, like even back in Hawaii, like nobody calls like, we call 35. Nobody calls our highways like, we don't even know the highway number. I don't even know the highway number. Like we just call it like Paneva Stretch. Like, oh, I'm on Paneva Stretch. I'll be there soon. But like nobody goes like, oh, I'm on 35 or I'm on 183. Like no, like it's like I'm on Kanoilehua. I'll be there soon or something. Like I'm by grandma's shop. Like
Gotcha. So directions are a little different.
yeah, it's like yeah, it's very much like just knowing like your place around town. Like
I can't imagine is there like, I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to ask anyways because I have a Hawaiian on the pod. So, of course. Is there a lot of construction like on the roadways? Does many things change?
not really, no.
Okay.
Like over here, like there's always a building. Like not really. Like
Gotcha.
in Oahu, very much so because it's like so much like more advanced. And, like it's the tourist island, of course. But like other islands, not really. It's like not really much building.
Because I can imagine because there's like a limited amount of space. Like the island's not going to get bigger at any point in time. So
Yeah.
you can't really build it out. Our islands aren't like going to be bigger. Like Honolulu today is going to be the same size 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So you're a teacher. Were you teaching in Hawaii? as
I
well?
was not. I was
Okay.
a case manager.
Gotcha. What does that mean? What's a
I
case
was like
manager?
working for the state and helping people like get like childcare services and stuff like that.
A social worker.
Basically, but like yeah.
Gotcha. What was I about to? No, teaching. So you weren't a teacher there. What made you come from Hawaii to Austin, Texas, of all places?
I was like thinking of moving away, and I moved to Oahu for like a month, and I was like, I don't like this. There's too much traffic for me. Where I'm from, like the Big Island, there's like no traffic except for like on Paneva Stretch. So I was like, okay, like I can't do this. So then I moved back to my island, and I was like, okay, like I'm not gonna be here for long. And then my auntie moved to Austin.
Okay.
And she was like, do you want to come? And I was like, sure. And then so I just packed my things and I told my boss, I was like, I'm leaving. She was like, what? She was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. So I got here and yeah.
How did you get your stuff? Wait, did you take a lot of stuff, or did you do when you got here? You just kind of re-up on everything.
I took pretty much like all my clothes and my car. Yeah.
How'd you get your car here?
It gets shipped by boat.
So
And
that's
then-
not a normal, like, that's not normal.
Yeah, literally.
Wait, how do you get your car here?
Yeah, it got shipped by boat, and then it had to get trucked from California to here.
Did you have to drive it, or is there services that exist?
There's
out-
services.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It took like 2 weeks to get here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I would, well, never mind. I'm not good at geography. I was like, well, I would have thought that maybe the boat could have just, never mind. I'm
Came
not
straight
good.
to Texas. Yeah, I think there was a way to do that, but it was more expensive, and I was like, I'm not spending
How
that.
expensive was that? Like roughly, like
Like $3,000.
$3,000
Yeah.
to get your car from Hawaii to Texas,
Yeah.
and it took 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. How far in advance are you thinking, like moving to Austin, or was this like super sporadic?
It was very sporadic. I was like, like, we'll see. Like, I love my job back home, so it took like a lot of convincing. But as soon as I landed a job in Austin, I was like, okay, like, I'm leaving.
So you got the job before moving here? Like the job was already in the tuck when you decided, like when you actually made it here?
Yeah, I was looking for jobs before I moved here. And I was like, okay, like, it was another like case manager job. And then I started, well, actually, I didn't start because I got stuck at the airport because you guys were shut down because of that snowstorm.
You moved here during the snowstorm?
Yes.
Oh shit.
So I had to like stay at the airport in Cali. I don't know what city it was, but for like a week until they like opened up your guys' airports and cleared the roads.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Because at that exact same time, I was on a road trip to New York
Oh, really?
in the middle of the winter.
That's
Like,
crazy.
literally, the snow was following us. Like, we're just making it past states before their freeze is coming.
Oh my God.
Like, literally, like, roads are sketchy as fuck. Like, snow for miles and acres just all around. Everything's covered. Like, we had, what do you call it? Like, one of those storage things, like, that you can, like, put all your stuff in on top of the car. It would freeze every time we'd, like, look. So, how do I explain this without sounding so stupid for driving across the country in the middle of the winter? It would freeze, like it would encase in ice while we're on the road. So when we would stop for gas, we'd have to like beat it to like get it to unfreeze. Like it was a whole layer of ice around the whole container.
That's insane.
It took us 35 hours from literally right here to Rochester, New York, which is the like at the tip. Like you could see Canada type shit
Oh my God.
in the middle of the winter.
Why would you do that?
I was helping a friend. My
okay.
friend got a job out there, and she had a lot of equipment that she had to take. So drive, and she didn't want to ship her car. So we were like, she wanted to like drive. I was all right. I'll go for safety purposes because if some crazy shit happens, and I could have went and I didn't go, I'm gonna feel fucked up because you're a friend. But no, it was nuts. It was so scary. It was. Because literally, we were going up the East Coast in the middle of the winter, and no one's stopping. Like everyone's used to driving in the snow up there, so like it's still traffic. It's still people going 70 miles an hour. Like it's still people driving as if there's not ice.
I did a road trip to Seattle, but not during the winter.
No, yeah, that was really dumb. Like the Monday, so the freeze happened on Monday. On a Monday, we left to drive to New York that Saturday before.
Okay.
So literally as we're going up, like the freeze is coming down from like the north. So as we're going up, the freeze is like coming down and hitting Texas, and like no one had power. But I had power in my place because I have cameras in my place. So like the whole time people are like panicking, don't have anywhere to be, and my shit is just sitting there with electricity, and I didn't leave anyone a key. But yeah, that's weird. Like the two dynamics, like you're coming from Hawaii, stuck in an airport area, waiting to come to Texas, and I'm stupidly driving up
Yes.
to
Yeah.
New
And
York
we're
in the
just
middle of the
like-
winter.
Yeah. I was like thinking I was in the hotel, and I was like, is this a sign for me not to move? I was like, should I just go back?
Yeah, that was nuts. Everyone panicked there. It was tough.
I know.
Yeah.
I heard.
Shout out to my guy Sab. He has a crazy story that like hit the newspaper type shit. Like he lived in an apartment complex and he was on the second floor. He has an older neighbor that he just happens to casually talk to and as they see each other passing. His like apartment, like water from like the corners of every edge was dripping down. Like there was water coming out of like sockets and everything, right? And he left to go with his family, like stay in Round Rock because Round Rock had energy at that point. And he had to go back to get some shit. And he just thought in his head like about his neighbor. He just randomly thought about it, right? So he goes knock on the neighbor's door. Door is unlocked. Neighbor is like basically on his back, water like up to here, like barely could like it. I would imagine a couple hours later, he'd be underwater completely.
That's crazy.
And he literally was able to get his neighbor out and like pull him to safety just because of a thought. Like he wasn't even planning on going back home that day. It's just that his son really needed something.
That's insane. That's probably one of the craziest stories I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people unfortunately lost their lives in that whole thing.
Yeah, that's true.
People sitting in their cars in their garage, not like thinking.
Yeah.
Like, I guess because you just want to be warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a tough out. But that's still a weird correlation to that time because I when that stuff happened, I would ask people what their experience was because everyone has some kind of different experience that you wouldn't even think of. I have a friend who just moved down here at that time. Like they literally just moved that week here and didn't know anybody, had no electricity and had to figure it out. Like they didn't have a friend to call. They didn't have anybody. Like it's just that kind of like recurring theme of like that time really sucked. And that's crazy that even came up. That's not even a thought I had. Like I didn't even know you moved here at that exact time. So yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. My grandma was like on the phone with me and she was like, maybe you should just come back home. And I was like, I don't know, grandma.
How long was the flight?
It's like 8 hours. Yeah.
I imagine just straight away, no layovers or anything like that, right?
Yeah, they just made a flight, like a straight flight from Austin to Hawaii. So it's a really long fucking flight. Like so long. Like I'm getting antsy in the flight all the time. Like this was so ridiculous.
Have you had any like, I don't want to say funny, but any like weird flight stories just like throughout your life? Like anything that's ever happened in the airport that's been weird, flights that really sucked or anything like that?
There was this one time, like, this was totally my fault, but I did my road trip to Seattle because my friend didn't want to ship her car, so I drove it for her. She paid me, and then she bought my flight back, and of course it was a Spirit. I hate Spirit. Would never fly with them again. Nope. I told my sister, I was like, oh, my flight's at 7, like. Can you make sure like I'm there by 5? And my sister has TSA pre-check, so she's like,
oh, it's lit.
She like gets through, and I'm like, I don't have that. Like, so I was like, I need to get there early. She's like, no, our airport is super slow. Like, don't worry. I was like, okay. So we get there like 6. I'm like, okay, I have like 15 minutes before I fucking board. And so like I get to my gate, and it was like A2. And the line at TSA was so long. I was like, God damn, I want to miss my flight. I get to my gate, and it's like saying it's going to like Atlanta, and I was like, I'm not flying to Atlanta, like. So I was like told the lady, I was like, excuse me, like I'm looking for this gate, like. And I was like, did it leave already? And she's like, oh no, that's SA2, like you need to catch the tram to go to the S gates. And I was like, fuck, because I'm like about to like miss my damn flight. So I like catch the tram, I get there, and there's nobody at the like gate. They already closed the door, and I opened the door to like the jetway, and they arrested me.
What?
Because I guess it's a federal offense.
You got arrested?
Yes. I was so mad. I was like, and like the plane was still there, and then but then like they sent me like this whole fine thing, and they're like saying that I had to apologize, but I'm like, okay, like my grandma was like, why did you do that? Like I was like, because the plane was still there, but I guess
like everyone was boarded and the door was like
closed. Yeah. I guess you're not supposed to do that. So I learned my lesson.
I mean, I don't think that's told like in flying. I don't think they tell you that.
Well, there was definitely an alarm that went off, and so I was like, okay, yikes. I'm never doing that again. Yeah, the cops came, they like, took my ID, and I was like, oh God.
That's nuts.
This is horrible. And they still didn't even let me on the flight. I was like, ah.
my stories don't even compare, like compared to that at all. Like I was gonna say some two simple shits. Like last time I was in California, like we had got these edibles, right, and I didn't want to waste them. So on the way to the airport, I just ate them all, right, and we get to the airport. I'm perfectly fine until we board the first plane, and I'm tripping out because like I'm lucky I had somebody with me though, because I forgot to get my luggage.
Oh,
But someone actually helped figure that out. Like I was tripping out. I think I spent like $40 on Panda Express. I was on that plane just munching loud as hell. I was out of there.
that's crazy. I know I was gonna bring back some like stuff from the dispensary in Vegas when I just went like a couple weeks ago. And my friend was like, just put it in your luggage, like it'll be fine. And I was like,
Oh no.
I was like, bitch, with my fucking luck, I would go to jail. I would end up in jail. So that I just gave it away. I was like, no.
I had to and this was going to California. So and this is years ago. So that's probably, I don't know how old I was. I was young, but I took out my, like at the time, my iPod and my headphones that were in my pocket, and I put it in a little box, right? Mm-hmm. I only grabbed the headphones.
Oh,
So I'm sitting on the flight for 5 hours
With
with just nothing. This is before they had like the TV inserts with the headphones, just listening to the plane noise and people for
that's
5 hours.
horrible.
It was the worst experience of my life.
Yeah.
Because you're just looking, and this is before they even had like the screen that tells you how much longer. This is back in the day. He's like, we are about 4 hours away.
I feel like the screen that tells you how much longer you have is like so like it's like okay,
You try to
like,
beat it.
Yeah, it's like gosh, like I feel like we've been here at this time forever. Like why are we not moving faster?
It's funny.
Yeah. Every time I take that flight home, I'm like, oh my god, like I feel like I've been in the air for like 11 hours.
No, I can imagine. Like, yeah, it was the worst experience of my life. Like, from now on, like I have backups on backups of like things to listen to, because
Yeah.
like 5 hours of nothing.
Yeah.
You're
That
just
sounds-
listening to the air.
That sounds horrible. Like literally, I just download movies now. I'm like, I need to watch something.
And the worst thing is, like, I was by myself. Like,
Yeah. It's like, who do you talk to? The stranger next to you?
yeah, he's asleep.
Like you're supposed to be.
I can't sleep. I'm having anxiety.
That's funny.
Yeah, my stories don't even compare to yours at all.
No, yeah, that was horrible. That was the worst. I literally had PTSD for a long time. My sister lives in Seattle. I'm like, I'm never flying into Seattle. Like, you can pick me up from another like airport.
Seattle is the only place I would live outside of Texas in the U.S.
Really?
I like their food. They have a lot of good food out there.
Okay, they have really good food, but I feel like it's so depressing in there because I'm like, it's always cold. Like, how do you guys even do anything?
Yeah. I think, yeah, Seattle or Oregon.
Okay, Oregon is like, a lot of people say like Oregon's like the next Hawaii. Like a lot of Hawaii people are there.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Not comparable to Vegas, of course, because Vegas, there's...
I've never been to Vegas.
Really? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Hawaii people there. A lot of
Really?
good Hawaiian food too.
I said I'm gonna go one day, but I don't know. Like I don't
There's no hype to Vegas, honestly.
like clubs and bars and casinos and stuff like that. I like low key shit. Like I don't like to be in the mix like that.
Okay, yeah, because then Vegas is going to be very boring to you.
Like I'd go try food. Like I'm a type of person who will go out of town, go to a city, spend 4 or 5 days in that city, and eat 3 separate places each day, making it 20 places I tried.
Yeah.
That's how I turn up. Like I would literally just go to a city and just eat. That's it. That's all I need. I don't need no clubs. I don't need no brunches. I don't need no parties. I just want to eat.
Yeah, I feel that. I love to eat new food. Yeah, Vegas is definitely like their food sucks. So I wouldn't.
I heard.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there.
I want to go to the Pawn Stars place.
In Vegas? Mm-hmm. Oh.
I would do corny shit like that. I want to go to the historic shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not be the party kind of person in Vegas. I'm like, let's go see the museums.
Let's go see them. My dad went to a museum in Vegas. He said it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what type of time I would be on for sure. You got arrested, yo.
Yeah, I know. It was the worst time of my life. And I was like coming back to do my background check for my teaching job.
Oh shit.
So I was like, I hope this doesn't pop up on my background check. And then my grandma was like, you're probably being a no-fly list now. And I was like, no, I can't. Like,
I
I
feel
need
you
to fly.
gotta do some crazy shit to
I
be on
know.
the no-fly
I
list.
was so scared.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Never again.
Is there any food here that you found to like that you really fuck with or like you really like that's here?
I feel like there's like a lot of like wings and taco places here that I like for sure. Because we don't have much. Like, I think like the only place you can get like chicken wings from back home in Hawaii, or like especially my islands, like Pizza Hut.
Word?
Yeah,
You got no Popeyes, no KFCs?
we ain't got no Popeyes.
Word?
We don't even have Dunkin' Donuts. We have Starbucks. That's all. I feel like our Target on my island just opened up, but it opened up a few years ago. But it's like that's like pretty brand new itself too.
Walmart's?
Oh yeah, Walmart's been there,
Okay.
but we don't have like Sprouts. We don't have like
Whole Foods?
no. We have KTA, which is like very local to my island. So like a local, but it's so expensive. Like milk is like $11.
What?
Eggs are like $8.
Guess who's not eating eggs and milk or drinking milk?
Yeah. So expensive.
I can only imagine. Like, I want to go back. Like, I legit would like to go to Hawaii. I just have never found the circumstances to make it make sense for me right now. But I do want to go back.
Yeah. If you ever fly there, like
I mean,
you need to.
Is there any other options?
No. But like, but if you ever end up going, you need to fly on Hawaiian. Don't fly on any other airlines. Like Hawaiian's like pretty pricey, but they feed you twice, so
Twice.
and their
Okay.
food is pretty good. Except for like Southwest, where they only give you a bag of pretzels.
And the sparkling water.
But I love Southwest because you have 2 free luggages, but they don't feed you.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever been on a plane where they fed you for real. Maybe a sandwich or sandwiches and salads.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
But I think I only fly Delta or Southwest.
okay, yeah.
I don't think I've done anything outside of those two.
Yeah, I love Southwest because the free luggages, but like also, like you can't go wrong with being on an 8-hour flight and having 2 meals.
I'd probably have to be lit if I do an 8-hour flight.
No, literally. Like I just take melatonin before I go on because it's so fucking long. It's ridiculous.
Fuck around, stay on the plane and sleep.
Yeah. Literally envy those that like fly first class
Yeah.
because I'm like, you get to lay down and go to bed.
Lay down. Even those like super big planes like the Etihad, like those ones that like have like the super, like they actually have rooms. I know you guys spend $1 trillion or whatever, but like they have like big ass rooms, showers, bathrooms.
Showers?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Rich people be flying for real.
Must be nice. I swear. I'm on a teacher budget here.
No, because like those, I think the airline is Etihad, Ethad. It's like on the Saudi stuff, but like those flights, because like flights from here to like let's say Africa is like 20 hours.
I would cry.
With
I would-
I don't, and I think there's like only like one layover with those shits too.
No, I would need like 3 layovers. That is too long for me to be in a plane.
Yeah, them,
I would start catching an anxiety attack. I'm like, get me out of here.
But if you do it right, it could be lit. I'm telling you, they be having those big ass rooms, like bunk beds and showers. Like, but it's like limited showers. Like you can only do it for like 3 times for 6 minutes or some shit like that. Because they're gonna run out of water. Like, it's pre-stocked.
No.
But they have beds and TVs and shit. Like when I get rich, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm getting on one of those planes for sure. Have you seen any of like the travel shows for like trains?
No.
So apparently there's luxury trains that you can cross the country with. They take a lot longer than flying, but you get big ass room, you get a shower, there's restaurants on board, and you get to cross the whole US. And it's not expensive. Well, $500 is expensive, but like it's a 3-day trip. You go from one city to another city on the train. Train's going 24/7, no stops, and you just in that motherfucker drinking and eating.
That just makes me think of like sex trafficking. I don't know. That just like gives me anxiety. Like, no.
It's more of like a touristy thing. Like you get to see like some of the carts are like all glass, and you can see nature and shit
No.
like that. Because the train's not going fast.
No. I'll drive myself.
You wouldn't do a luxury train?
No. It sounds very scary, honestly.
Why?
Because like it's like you don't know who's in that train. A lot of like these videos or like these movies or TV shows, they happen in trains. People die.
Well, it's a tourist thing, so everyone is being a tourist. The only thing that I thought was weird is that like it was. I don't know if it's all of them, so I'm not speaking to train enthusiasts out there who are just loving trains. It was like the bathroom's communal. So like everybody on the train was using the same like 5 bathrooms, and there was like 100+ people on on the train. So I thought that was weird, but
Yeah. No. That's something that like I would never do. Sounds like a cruise. I would never go on a cruise.
shout out to Robin. She's going on her first cruise, and her anxiety is out the fucking roof right now.
Yeah, I don't blame her. I do not blame her.
She's like basically just saying like it's a free ride. Like she's not having to pay for the cruise. So
Yeah,
she's
they
like,
do like free cruises for teachers too. And my coworkers are, let's go. I'm like, do you want to die? Titanic. Sorry, but Titanic.
Titanic. Have you ever seen the movie Poseidon?
No.
So it's like, I think it came out like 2012, 2013, but it's like a modern day
Titanic.
but like way worse because the boat turns upside down and they got to climb up to the end of the boat to get out of it. And everything starts malfunctioning throughout the whole process and blowing up and shit. I saw that shit years ago and I was like, I'm never getting on a fucking cruise because there is no guarantee I'm making it back. Unless you can sign a paper that says I'm good to go, I'm making it back home. I'm not doing it.
That's crazy. My friend bought me a cruise for my birthday this year. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, sure. Like, maybe I'll go. And then I was like, okay. And then as soon as, like, they sent me the confirmation tickets, I was watching, I think it was SWAT or some type of show. And literally, it was like the episode of the cruise shipped up, like, the cruise ship flipped upside down.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I'm not going. I'm sorry. You need to get a refund or something.
There's stories about cruise ships going missing.
Yeah.
Like, how you lose a fucking giant ass boat?
No. It just sounds really scary.
I'm afraid of the lack of light in like the distance. Like when it's dark, like there's no light out there. It's just pitch black.
Yeah.
Like
Or
you
like
can
when
see-
you're like leaving land and you're like, okay, well, like when's the next time I'm going to see land?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to sink? Am I going to die? Am I going to hit an iceberg? Like what?
Yeah, like yeah, I'm cool on cruises. I don't unless it was one of those cruises. Like I would only do a cruise if it was one of those extremely like nice ones where there's like 20+ restaurants on it and shit.
Okay, yeah.
And like if it starts sinking, there's some time to get off the boat. Type shit. Some cruises be a little too small for me. Like, how long is this motherfucker gonna stay floating until we go down if it goes down? And where the fuck is the exits at? No one told me about the exits. I don't think they have classes of where the exits are. I think there's just signs everywhere.
That's so scary. Like, why would you ever do that to yourselves?
I have a friend who is a serial cruise
Cruiser?
person. Like, that's her shit. Like, she works for a cruise line, I think, still. I don't know. But that's her shit. She does like 3 or 4 cruises a year.
Okay, shout out to her, but like, I could never myself.
Yeah, a cruise would be too awkward for me. Like, again, unless it was one of those big ones. And I'd be seeing the rooms people be in on these just regular cruises. It'd be the size of this room.
It looked so small and claustrophobic. I would literally cry.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah. No, couldn't be me.
Because I don't, and then the thing is, like, people will be like, you fly. But I'm like, you can kind of like, we have established as a culture and a people, there's not dragons in the sky. Like, there's not big ass creatures that we know of in the sky. We don't know what the fuck's down there.
It's true.
We don't know if Godzilla's under there. We don't know what's under there.
Yeah.
What if the biggest whale in history decides to make a debut? and fuck up the boat.
It's your day, I guess.
Like, we don't know what's down there.
You
so hell
decided
no.
to get on that cruise. That was your first mistake.
That's nuts. So with you being a teacher, why be a teacher? Or I guess better said, like, what do you love about it?
I just love like watching the kids like grow into their little personalities. Like, I'm not sure how people do like middle and high school because their attitudes are out of this world. And I remember myself at that age, and that was horrible. So I think that if I ever became like a middle or high school teacher, I would definitely get karma for how I acted to my teachers. But like watching these elementary kids, like I had first grade last year and have some of them again this year, but just like watching them like grow into their little personalities and their little attitudes, and like watching them copy the things I say like to other kids, and I'm just like, hey, like you are so funny. Like sometimes I just sit there and just laugh. I'm like, you're just like so funny. Like I always tell my kids to get it together. Like at the end of the school year, I just heard kids like, get it together. Like you're not doing that right. You know that. I'm like, yes, I love this.
I don't do it anymore, but a couple years ago, for a long time, I was a soccer coach, and I had U4s and U8s, and getting the U4s to just like kick the ball was like an accomplishment. Like the kids, like the fields we played on had dandelions on it, right? So they would literally stop in the middle of the game and just pick dandelions for their parents. But my U8s, like seeing them, because like I had 4s and 8s, so like eventually the 4s grew up to be the 8s. So just seeing them even like grow and like their person, I was like, you were picking dandelions 4 years ago, little guy, and now you're cussing.
Yeah. it's like, wow. It's like you were just like not listening and now you can spell your name? What? Yeah. It's crazy. And it's like, I was like so sad to see like a lot of my like the ones that gave me a lot of trouble leave me. I'm like, hey, you're leaving me. Like, even though you drove me insane.
So what do you like, what was I going to say? I don't know what I was going to say. No, I knew what I was going to say. So what was some fun activities that you would normally do on a typical like night out in Hawaii versus here?
There's like, especially my island, like there's no clubs.
No clubs.
No, like there's two, like, no, I want to say there's like 4 bars. There may be like 2 main ones. And like, but we don't have any clubs. Like
Really?
Oahu, of course, has clubs because they're like bigger, but we don't have clubs. So like nights out would basically mean going to like Joanne's, which is a bar, followed by Ikomai's, which is another bar. And they're literally right next to each other. So, but like that's the only 2 bars that people go to. So like it's like very popular. You're running into everybody there.
I could imagine like, so if you're in a relationship with someone and y'all break up and y'all are going to these same bars, I can imagine running into exes pretty often.
Oh, for sure. You are running, if you guys live on the same island, like you're running into that person's family, that person's cousin, them, like, no, it's just horrible. Like you have, like, I swear, when I was in high school, I think it was middle school. I tried to lie to my dad and I was like, I'm going to the mall with my friends. And he was like, okay. And my sister's boyfriend at the time caught me at the mall with a guy. And my dad like pulled up to the mall and was like losing his shit on me. I was like, God, I can't do nothing here. Especially my dad, because he knows everybody. Like my family knows, like they think they're the mayor of our island, like can know everybody. So I can't get away with anything.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So 2 bars. And what about going to different islands? Is that a thing for people?
Of course, yeah. Like you just have to fly. It's like a 40-minute flight. There's like no ferries or anything. Gotcha. Some people ask me if there's like a bridge. I'm like, like I swear, some of the questions I get here, and like none of your questions are bad, but like some of my questions that I receive from people, they're like, do you just like walk the bridge? Like, isn't there only like one island? Like, I'm like, oh my God, like I get it. Like Hawaii is not educated in school in a, like we call this the mainland, but like, come on, like there's like more than one island, y'all. Like, they're always like, didn't your island get like burned? They're like, no, that was another island. Like, gosh.
Oh shit.
But yeah, my brother flies to Oahu all the time. It's pretty cheap. It's like usually like $40 one way.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What about hotels and like tourists? Like, is there? Because I have friends who still live there, right? Is there a clear difference between where people who are from there and local live and where tourists are?
On Oahu, yes. Like I would say on Oahu, yes. Like if you go to Waikiki, like that's obviously where the tourists are. People try to avoid it, of course, but like I feel like every other island, like not really.
Gotcha.
Like the Big Island, makes like mainly like Kona side is like the tourists, which is crazy because it's cheaper to fly into Kona than it is onto Hilo side. So I'm like, are you guys making it cheaper for the tourists to fly in here than it is for the islanders? But yeah.
What's the dumbest question you've ever heard in regards to Hawaii or living in Hawaii?
I don't know. I feel like I received like a lot of dumb questions since I moved here. But it's also like okay, like I didn't know about like the mainland when I moved here. Like I was like, okay, like I didn't know Texas was this big. But like,
Ooh, better. What did you know about Texas before moving here?
I didn't know nothing.
Okay.
Like absolutely nothing. Like it was between Utah and here because my best friend lives in Utah. And she was like, yeah, like come, like our family is like basically like one family. So she's like, yeah, come like live here if you want. And I went up there and it was way too Mormon for me.
Yeah. Ironically, I recorded a pilot episode of this podcast, I'd say like 2.5, 3 years ago. And the people who were on were, because before it was just me doing the podcast, I had a team of people who did everything. I was just showing up and talking. She had got somebody that she just knew as a friend, and they were from Utah. Both of them were from Utah. And they just wanted to talk about religion the whole time. And I was just like, let's cut. Yeah, this is good. This is a good one. This is called a day.
Yes, my friend was like, they had a restaurant, so she was like, hey, they need help serving. Like, can you? I was like, yeah, let's go. And I get there, and I was wearing a crop top with like high waisted jeans, and she's like, you can't wear that. You have to put on a jacket. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, like the Mormons are not gonna like it. I was like, then I'm not moving here. Like, this is all my wardrobe consists of. Like, what are you talking about? That's why I was like, okay, I guess I'm moving to Texas instead. So,
is there any like misconceptions about? I guess I wouldn't even say Texas, like the mainland, if you would say. Is there any misconceptions that are prevalent in Hawaii versus like when you actually get here?
I wouldn't say so. No. I think the biggest misconception about like Hawaii compared like is like, don't you live in like grass huts? Like,
Oh no.
yes, and I'm like, no. Or like someone asked me if we have electricity here. I'm like, yes, we have electricity. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how do you think we live? You're like, or like, oh, I hate when people are like, don't you surf? Like, you're from Hawaii. Like, not everybody in Hawaii surfs. Like, I'm like, oh, you're getting on my nerves.
Huts is crazy.
Yes, they're like, don't you live in like grass huts and like where's those things that like we see in the movies like of the dancers? And I'm like, okay, that's like not like you don't see a hula dancer everywhere you walk in Hawaii. Like, no, that's like very misconceiving.
I've heard people say like Texas is like people are just on horses everywhere.
Oh yeah, see, like, yeah,
Everyone has
knows,
cowboy
like,
hat.
yeah, everyone like they're like, oh, do you just like, are you just gonna date a cowboy now? I'm like, guys, like that's not like that's another. Yeah, I would say my cousin's like, find me a cowboy. I'm like, no, I don't even see that much cowboy hats around here.
Yeah, not here, but if you go about three hours west, you won't see nothing but cowboy hats. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What else? I'm gonna ask this. I know you said this was one of the ones you.
Oh goodness.
You didn't say this one, but what's the most difficult thing about dating or dealing with you that you personally think?
I would say probably my mouth. Like, my dad always told me growing up, like, you have a horrible mouth on you. Like, you're gonna drive people insane. Like, I was the worst kid out of all my siblings. I was like, my dad will
You'll
put,
test.
yes, he'll be like, no, she was horrible. Like, we call like getting beatings back home in Hawaii like lickings, and I was the only kid lickings growing up. Out of all my siblings, like my dad could look at my sister like, I'm so disappointed in you. My dad, and she would cry. My dad ever told me that, I would laugh in his face, like, okay, and what, like love him to death. But yeah, I was my mouth probably like, I would not like, no. Like my ex was like, your attitude sucks. Like, okay, and
And
like what? Like,
that's funny.
yeah, that's probably like one of the worst things. And like when I get hangry, I'm like my mouth gets really bad.
Oh, that's tough. It's tough. When women get hangry, that's a tough out.
Yeah, like just feed me. Like that's all you need to do. Like if I'm craving these tacos from this food truck, just go get it.
I went to a food truck yesterday. It's literally right up the street, and it was pretty fire. I don't remember the name.
Was it the tacos you posted? Mm-hmm. It looked good.
They were good. They were really good. And I just drove by it, like not thinking about it. I'm like, but why is this pink ass food truck just sitting here next to a gas station? It gotta be fire if it's this loud. Like you can't be this pink and be in a gas station and your food's not fire because you're trying to stand out. So I ended up going on my lunch break yesterday. I work from home, so
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. There's a food truck right below my house called Bomb Tacos. Everyone's like, it's called Bomb Tacos. It must not be bomb. I'm like, okay, but it really is really good. Like, their pastor tacos are so juicy. I'm like, this is so good.
I might have to try that out too.
Yeah. I mean, it's far from you.
I mean, I want
You'll wait 5 hours for food.
I'll wait
so.
5 hours for food, and one of the stipulations of me going to New York with my friend, I was like, we have to try a lot of food. So I'll drive 38 hours to go try food too.
Okay, so New York. New York pizza, what do you think of it?
I didn't have pizza when I was up there.
You didn't have pizza?
No.
Okay.
So Rochester is not New York City.
Okay.
I learned that very quickly.
Okay.
Right. Rochester is its own little thing, its
Mm-hmm.
own little entity, and I really went up there to try hot pot for the first time.
Hot pot?
Yeah, hot pot wasn't here then.
Oh, okay. I was like, we have hot pot here.
It wasn't here then. All the restaurants that are spiking up now is like within the last 4 or 5 years, but there wasn't hot pot here. So one of the stipulations I told my friend, I was like, hey, when we go up here, just know once we get here, we're going to eat. We're going to eat a lot of places. So be ready. That's probably the worst or the hardest thing to dealing with me in relationships is you're going to get a little bigger because unless you work out consistently, if you don't work out consistently, you're going to gain some pounds because we're going to eat. Like we're going to eat a lot of food often. And what was really cool about where we actually stayed in New York is like I stayed at her place, but like it was a gutted out mall. So the mall was like 7 stories or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they just made a ton of apartments looping around.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it had a food court in it. Like the food court that I'm not sure if that was the same food that was in the mall at that time when they changed it, but they had like 5 restaurants downstairs on the food court area. They also had a swimming pool inside. They had a dog park inside and dog daycare. They had a medical center in the facility, a dentist, podcast studio, computer room, all for the people. That's a part of the amenities. A study room, a library, and they had a grocery store attached to it.
Oh my gosh. That is insane.
I kid you not. Like, you literally do not have to leave.
Yeah.
Like, and the restaurants were actual. It wasn't like fast food. It was like actual restaurants in the food court.
I wish.
And on top of that, it wasn't like what you think of typically like New York prices. Like New York City, like you're gonna be in a shack for like $1,500. Mm-hmm. In Rochester, my friend was only paying $1,100 for that apartment.
What? That's
And it was spacious as shit. It was really high up, but like again, you just take a quick elevator ride downstairs, and that can be your dinner. Like, and I mean like good food. I'm like I don't even know how to express it. I mean like steaks and lobster and pho, and like actually good quality restaurants that are made to order, not fast food.
I feel like that would be a bad thing though. Like for me, I would be like, I don't have to cook tonight. I'll just go downstairs.
But that's a lit time.
No,
Like,
no,
that's a
that
fun
is,
time.
that
You
is.
invite some friends over, y'all just kick it. Y'all go down the elevator, y'all eat there, and it like had spaces to eat, so it wasn't like you just got to get it to go. Like you can literally sit there.
Yeah,
and
for
kick it.
1,100, that's a good price.
Yeah.
You can't find even. You can find a studio for 1,100 now in Austin.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
When I guess I'd say maybe at this point like 10 years ago, my first apartment was a 2-bedroom apartment with 2 baths for $776.
Yeah. No. I'm like, my friend back home is like paying the same thing as me. And I'm like, how are you paying for a 2-bedroom? And I have a 1-bedroom, and you are paying the same thing back home in Hawaii, in paradise, that I'm paying here in fucking Austin, Texas.
Yeah, it's nasty work. Like I'm moving more and more this way because like I used to live off of Palmer, and like my rent continuously increased. I was just like, nothing's changing though. Like
Yeah.
they're not changing anything about the apartments. There's not no renovations or anything. So I was like, yeah. So I'm slowly moving this way. I might end up living in Georgetown by the time it's all done.
That's far.
Not from here. From here, Georgetown's like.
I mean,
15
yeah,
minutes away.
basically you like live in Dallas because like you're so north.
I am literally on the line, like just like 2 miles that way is no longer Austin.
Yeah, I was like, where am I?
This is the north side, man.
I know.
That's where all the good food is and the good
That's
people.
true. All the good food is up here. Yeah. We have like literally yesterday we were driving home, me and my friend, and she's also from Hawaii, and we're like, okay, we're hungry, and I was like, there's nothing down here except for ramen Tatsuya, and we just had that the other day.
They built one in Round Rock.
Yeah, but it gets old after a while.
The closest one to me before the one that they just built over there was the one in Cedar Park.
Okay, yeah. True. They're really good, but I can't eat it
I
twice
met
a
the
week.
owners. The owners are from California, so during the pandemic, they brought the restaurant from California to Texas, and then opened multiple restaurants. They also have 2 others that are separate but under the same brand. They have a hot pot place.
What is it called?
I'm gonna look it up when we're done, but I don't know the name. But like they have 2 separate. One is I think it's Dip something, but it's still their brand. Like the logo's the exact same, but it has something different.
Okay.
And I don't think they're far from each other either. But I'm gonna once we're done recording, I'm gonna show you because the hot pot place is fire. It's expensive as shit, but like it's like really good quality meat, and like the atmosphere is nice. The setup is super nice. I don't even know how to explain it. Like you have to. I'll show you, but like it's lit.
Have you ever been to K-Pot?
I have not, but I did try to work there.
Okay.
I did try to work there, but yeah, I don't think 6'3" black guy works at K-Pot.
Yeah. I really like K-Pot, but my friends are like, ugh, it's so gross. Like, I'm like,
Is that the one off the airport?
no, I don't know if there's one off the airport, but there's one south for sure. They just opened one south.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. I've
Yeah.
been tagged in that
Yeah.
a few times. Yeah.
I mean, I like it because like you can either get hot pot or KBBQ. So I'm like, or you can get both. And I'm just like,
This is really good place. Have you ever been to Plano, Texas?
no, but my friend from Hawaii just sent me like some hot pot place out there. And he was like, you need to try this out. You're the closest one out of everybody.
Really?
I was like,
Yeah. Plano is easily in my top 10 food cities. Like, I don't know why it's lit there, but they have so much great food. They have great Asian food. They have great Mexican food. They have just everything you can ever think of. Japanese food, like everything. And there's a Korean barbecue place there called Fusion. And it's the same concept. You can either do either or, but it's cheap as shit. Like I'm talking like $17 for both.
that's crazy. Yeah.
All
K-pop's
you can
like
eat.
45.
Yeah. Shout out to Plano. I'll actually be in Plano 2 weeks from now, just to get away and eat.
To make a trip. I'll have to make a trip.
Yeah, go on a weekday. Like Plano gets busy on the weekend, but like go on a weekday out there. It's a 3-hour drive from here. So from you, probably like 4.
Yeah, because You know, you're already in Dallas, so.
But I appreciate you coming out. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Not really.
We did an hour basically.
Oh, wow. Time just flew by.
No, right? No, I really appreciate you coming out. And again, I think it's really dope that we connected. And I still have never talked to anybody else on that page ever.
Oh, really?
No matter
Yeah.
how much I've posted, no matter how many like comments I've had on that page, I haven't actually directly talked to somebody on there except for you. So again, I appreciate you coming out and being on this pod. This is 115. God damn.
That's a lot.
It
was fun.
It is a lot. God damn. But we just have some pictures to take, and then
Perfect.
yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else to talk about. I got to work in an hour. That's gonna piss me off.
I have to go into campus tomorrow too. Start setting up classrooms. So they just like sent out like a bunch of emails yesterday. We're like stressing. We're like, we're going back.
It's over already.
I know. Well, like we don't basically like our school doesn't even have a summer basically because
Yeah.
we get out like the first week of June and then we go
Gotcha.
back next week.
Oh snap.
So it's like 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
I appreciate it. Like I'm not bitching
Don't take
at
it
all, but everybody else has to like the ending of August, and we're like, yeah.
Gotcha. This is the Can We Talk podcast, episode 115.